House of Representatives on Wednesday passed for second reading a constitutional amendments bill seeking to remove the immunity granted to the vice presidents, governors, and their deputies. The sponsor of the bill, Solomon Bob from PDP Rivers, stated that the proposed amendment aims to curb corruption, eradicate impunity, and enhance accountability in public office. A bill for an act to alter the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 to qualify the immunity conferred on the President, remove the immunity conferred on the Vice President, governors, and their deputies in order to curb corruption, eradicate immunity, and enhance accountability in public office and four related matters. The bill seeks to amend Section 308 of the Constitution, which currently shields the President, Vice Presidents, governors, and their deputies from criminal and civil persecution while in office. The House also passed for second reading another constitutional amendments bill seeking to assign a constitutional role to traditional rulers. The proposed amendment will provide official recognition of their advisory role in governance. Both bills are part of 42 constitutional amendments focused on devolution of power, strengthening institutions, state creation, traditional rulers' roles, citizenship, fundamental rights, and local government reforms currently under consideration by the House. There are about 39 constitutional amendment bill that has been passed that has scaled second reading from the National Assembly. And this one, we know how the immunity situation has been for time past after most of this individuals while in office are allowed to do whatever, and once they are out of office, that's when especially the economic and financial crime commissions will go after them, and actually that means that the immunity has dropped. Well, now the National Assembly has decided, well, from the House of Representatives has decided to remove there's a word there was one of the papers that said strip them of their immunity. I want to get your thoughts on what you make of that. Do you think this is actually one of the best that has been passed, that's a skilled second reading?
Permit me to say that the National Assembly, they're doing their jobs. That's what they were elected to do. Enact laws and amend them and protect the laws, as it were. But it is important and imperative for us to realize that the problems that we have as a people right now, I don't really think it is the laws. I think what we have is its implementation, now problems. Now, starting from the very first point of this bill, talking about the removal of immunity from the governors, their deputies, and the vice president, I want to ask, already as it is in the Nigerian enclave, and what we have experienced most lately, the powers of the president of the Nigeria state is about the biggest, the strongest person in the world. There's no other constitution that empowers any president the way the constitution of Nigeria empowers the Nigerian president. Now, that's on one side. Until we have a sense, these powers will always and continuously be argued to be considered abused by people that have sat or sit in the office again and again. In the light of that, you want to remove the immunity clauses of governors, deputy governors, and vice president, so that we will now have to face a process where, as it is today, the court is almost deciding everything for us as a people. Whether we do elections or not, whatever the court finally decides is what will stand. The vote of the people is almost secondary, because the primary issue is who has more connections or who has more favoritism from the courts. And if that is what we are experiencing now already as a people, it is imperative that we protect the ones that have already been, we consider our choices. We have made them, whether correctly or wrongly, as it were. If we voted and the votes were counted, we would have wanted to see them thrive or fail, so that we can judge them by whatever they have done. I think that the drafters of the Constitution who believe that no immunity clause should be added is for them to keep the people focused for the 4 years or thereabout that they stay in office. But if in the wisdom of the legislatures, they believe that the immunity clause should be removed, I think it should be removed from everybody, from the presidency. Because listen, let us be realistic. Every one of them, from the look up, from the bill, they are all elective offices. officers. And because the deputy governor is elected alongside the governor, so they are both elected officers. So the vice president is equally an elected officer alongside the president. So I think that if they want to remove the immunity clause, it should not be sectional. Everybody should fall in the category of the immunity clause being removed. And if they do not want to, if for me, I would canvass that with the state of things that we want to see most lately in Nigeria, immunity clause should stay. For now, it should stay. There are more pressing and germane
Why
issues.
do you think it should remain? Why do you think it should not be removed as it stands?
For me, I think it should not be removed because we are almost already seeing an abuse of office by the federal government at different instances. Listen, when I mean federal government, it's not just presidency. We talk about government parastatals as being led by the federal from the presidency. Now, if a governor does not have an immunity clause, and you already know that he's only a chief security officer by paper, by the moment a funny allegation is made on the governor, we're already kowtowing and panning to the federal government for everything as a country. The federal government takes unilateral decisions that are binding by the people, that's archaic and funny sections of the constitution. I call them archaic and funny sections of the constitution because when you bring I've told people there's always two sides to a coin. There is nothing that is completely wrong and there's nothing completely right. And once there is a provision that empowers a wrong action, or there's a provision that empowers an action, let me not consider it wrong because my view considers it so. If there's a power that empowers an action by any public officer, that there's a part of the law that empowers it, and that public officer now has the same power to implement it and cannot be be challenged because of an immunity clause from the federal that is already so powerful. We are already seeing organs of government. We have been in this state at a point in time when the former governor, in the person of Right Honorable Chidimeka Amici, stated that he was not in charge of the security aid. Oh, the federal government, the presidency were oppressing him for one reason or the other. We saw the previous governor run the same route. We have seen the governor of Rivers State seemingly almost running the same route again. What am I trying to say in essence or in earnest? The truth is we cannot continue to look at issues that we Nigerians, we are the people these lawmakers are representing, and I don't understand how these laws are being amended with the people not in line with the processes. There is a law that the Nigerian people have written letters to, have penned signatures on, which is the law to regulate the educational and health tourism of public officers and their wards. But the same house have shut it down even from the moment it was ready. It never allowed to go professionally. It was shut down from the moment the honorable member raised that law. That is one. Nigerians are asking questions. Amend the law that talks about the recall of officers, be it House of Assembly, be it the Senate. Amend the law because the law is almost too bogus or stringent that it can never be implemented. How do I mean? A law that says a two-thirds majority of the people that voted for the election, they will now come out to say after 3 years, when some of people have died, some people are not even interested anymore because of the arbitrary level of governance and the distancing of such honorable members from their constituents. And the people say they want to recall the person. The law states that you have to go and get two-thirds majority of the people that voted, the actual people that voted at the time. What law gives that kind of what person gives that kind of law? We are saying amend the law. If it's a two-thirds, let it be an open two-thirds of the people within that constituent. And if the signatures and information can be gathered and clearly seen that yes, these are the people that are asking for a recall. The person can be recalled. These are the laws that directly affect the Nigerian people that we are talking about. As we are speaking here, one of the headlines we just analyzed or we looked at was the headline of the telecoms taking decision arbitrarily, because that's what it means, unless the Senate is speaking from two sides of their mouth, that the telecoms wanted to increase tariff on the grounds of that the honorable member senator said they increased the tariff on grounds of the high cost of living in Nigeria, which is already a known norm. If they are increasing tariff on grounds of high cost of living in Nigeria and all, and the government has nothing to the honorable member clearly stated that these are flimsy excuses. These are excuses, problems that everybody understands, and we all should be able to know how to mitigate against them. Now, on that strength, These are the kind of laws we should be talking about. Laws that should be able to empower the government of the day to regulate systems rightly for the benefit of the Nigerian people. Here in this estate where you are domiciled and transmitting from, people can just wake up from their sleep and increase their rent of their apartment of the rentage by 200%, and nothing will happen. What you will hear is the property is theirs and they can decide what they want to do with it. If you're not okay with it, leave the property. And we have people that are claiming to be amending laws. We should not be talking about laws that in one way or one breath is amended for the benefit, because people feel the governor has immunity, the vice president has immunity, the deputy has immunity. Why was the president not included? Everybody wants to pan to the directive of the president. We are working out, we are marshalling the system, whether we like it or not. When the president alone has immunity and a court case, whether you call it outrageous or not, is leveled against a governor or his deputy, the person is, whether he's trying to grandstand or whatsoever, the president takes a decision from the Aso Villa. And on that same note, the governor is arrested and detained in prison. Why they say the process is on, as he's a normal Nigerian. I feel that this is a law that is going to bring us even to more chaos. What we have already is enough or a problem in our hand we are managing. We are saying that we should talk about more people-friendly laws. And
so don't you think they should actually put them in check, and considering like the state attitude curb corruption in that instance? Don't you think they should put them in check in order to actually do their due diligence while in office, instead of alleged money laundering and siphoning of funds and all of that?
I am one person who believes that we learned the language of alleged, or the nomenclature of alleged, from the APC government, from the first tenure. And everything is already an alleged. As I'm here, I'm alleged to be here by tomorrow. So, and that is it for us. That is the new Nigeria. So for me, I want to say that we have managed to run through this part. And we have seen where, okay, let's take the Rivers State situation today as a case study. By the singular fact of an House of Assembly grandstanding in the dimension that they have grandstood, this is my opinion, as against a governor. We have never heard where an House of Assembly gave a governor an ultimatum in any state of this country, because of the relationship that we believe that they've always had. Now that we believe that the relationship is frosty, and Nass Assembly gives a governor an ultimatum, and whether this is a drama or a script all of them are acting out, the governor comes out to say he went there and the place is locked up or what have you. The president unilaterally by himself, by the empowerment of a section, suspends the House of Assembly, suspends the governor, suspends his deputy, all elected officers, like the president was elected. So if the president of the United States of America, because he has nuclear capacity, he has more influence, decides to suspend the Nigerian president, what would that be? Would throw Nigeria into a chaotic situation. So that I'm trying to say in NS. For now, these people, the managers and the runners of the Nigerian system, with the kind of laws that are on ground, does not portend well if these bills case through and it sees the light of day, that the immunities are removed. Because at the end of the day, with the immunities that they even have, we are seeing almost all state governors, even the opposition governors, all kowtowing to the federal as though they are children. We are seeing the National Assembly all kowtowing to the federal, the presidency, almost as if they are children. If now all the immunities are now removed on top of the one we already have, tell me the kind of system we have. We'll be looking for an angel to be president. Because if anybody in the form of a tyrant in any way becomes president, we are doomed to go the route of dictatorship. And I think for me, it is not the best way to, it's not the best thing to happen to us. Whatever reasons upon which this law is being pushed, I think when it gets to the place where the people have to speak about the law, I think it will be dumped.